Sure, Emily Blunt has flown high as Mary Poppins and fought monsters in A Quiet Place, but did you know she was almost a superhero?
You can't lose what you've never lost.
Blunt was working as a stage actress when she auditioned for 2002's The Four Feathers. She lost the part to Kate Hudson, but did land a role in the TV movie Gideon's Daughter a few years later, and it earned Blunt her first and only Golden Globe win.
I told you.
Around that time, Blunt also had multiple auditions for the fantasy film Eragon. Sienna Guillory landed the role, but 20th Century Fox remembered Blunt when they began casting for The Devil Wears Prada. Blunt was among 100 actresses who were considered for the role of Emily, Miranda Priestley's assistant, and was offered a second audition as long as she dressed more like the character. Blunt changed out of her jeans and flip-flops into more formal wear and landed the breakthrough role, even convincing director David Frankel that the character should be British.
Oh, I'm sorry, do you have some prior commitment? Some hideous skirt convention you have to go to?
Blunt quickly became a household name and was considered to replace Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight, which ultimately went to Maggie Gyllenhaal instead. She was also eyed for The Departed, as was Kate Winslet in the role that went to Vera Farmiga, and Blunt was considered alongside Ellen Page for Up in the Air, in the part that earned Anna Kendrick an Oscar nomination. Speaking of the Academy Awards, Blunt was offered Sister James in Doubt, but felt like she was not right for the part. Instead, she suggested her friend Amy Adams, who earned an Oscar nomination for the role.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
It was around that time when Blunt first signed on to play Black Widow in Iron Man 2. However, she also wanted to play Princess Mary in Gulliver's Travels, which was filming at the same time. It was reported that 20th Century Fox could force Blunt to star in Gulliver's due to a clause in her Devil Wears Prada contract, but it's unclear if that was actually executed. In the end, Blunt backed out, and Jessica Biel, Jessica Alba, Natalie Portman, Angelina Jolie, and Gemma Arterton were all reportedly considered before Scarlett Johansson was cast as Black Widow.
I wouldn't stress about it.
Blunt was also considered for Peggy Carter in 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger, but Hayley Atwell was ultimately cast. After a hot streak that included Edge of Tomorrow and Into the Woods, Blunt was considered for Sarah Connor in 2015's Terminator Genisys, but the part went to Emilia Clarke. She was also at one point attached to 2016's Passengers, as were Rachel McAdams and Reese Witherspoon in the role that Lawrence ended up playing opposite Chris Pratt.
Took you long enough to ask.
Blunt signed on for Mary Poppins Returns and also picked up a script her husband John Krasinski had been working on and planned to direct, called A Quiet Place. She fell in love with the female lead and has said she asked Krasinski to kick a friend of hers off the project and hire her instead.
You have to protect them.
Blunt has refused to name that actress, and Krasinski recalls the casting coming together differently. Regardless, Blunt signed on and the movie was a monstrous hit, earning $340 million worldwide. Blunt will return to the heroic role with her husband again behind the camera in a highly anticipated sequel.
There are people out there worth saving.